Welcome to our series of interviews with Father Andrew Hoover. The teenagers of St. Peter Parish will be interviewing Father Andrew every month, asking him questions that have been on their minds. Stay tuned each month for 2 new videos. Here is the next of many interviews to come.
So, Father Andrew, we both came up with an amazing question for you.
Oh, very good.
So, what should we do if, we learn something in religion class, but we don't believe it?
Something that like the church teaches you, something that maybe you should do or believe.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sometimes people come across something that the church teaches, and they'll find it very challenging to their hearts, and just a challenge to the way they live their life. Maybe they're behaving in a particular way, and the church says, we shouldn't be acting this way, but we should, be acting this way. Even something I heard somebody mention recently, just their struggle with, the church's pro-life stance, against things like abortion and, even artificial contraceptives and things like that. And, sometimes people say, well, God gave me my conscience for a reason, and, I've even heard the church say that we should follow our conscience, and you can't force someone to act against their conscience. If your conscience tells you to do something, then, you have an obligation to yourself to do it. And, part of that is true, but the church also teaches us that our first responsibility to ourselves and our conscience is to form it well, and to find trusting persons, particularly the church itself, to help understand, what is good for us individually, but also the good of the whole world. There's a lot of wisdom and experience in thousands of years of tradition. And sometimes we think that we know better as one individual person after 15, 16 years or 30 some years of life than 2,000 years of tradition, and it's like, that may not be true, So that's our first responsibility, is to seek to form our conscience as well, and to trust in trustworthy authorities to learn about what's good for us and for the rest of the world. But what should you do? I think one of the most important things, too, is just, not to make it a battle between your will and, what the church teaches. Sometimes when we have a disagreement with the church, it becomes very public, and we kind of try to gather support, against it, like, no, the church is crazy, they teach this, and no, but it should be this way. Don't you think, don't you think it should be that way? Yeah, the church, and, we shouldn't do that either. But, so those are a couple of things, seek to learn more about maybe why the church teaches what they do, seek to form your conscience well along the way, and, know that there's a lot of wisdom in the tradition, and trust it, and maybe keep it a private disagreement, until you come to a better understanding of the whys and the whats.